Okay, BQF game day, day 3. We're looking forward to Saturday, looking at the bracket. Who knows what to expect? Crazy things will happen, like opening your room door and finding the walls plastered with Nicolas Cage pictures. That's what we expect from Saturday at Nationals. Not that that's happened to multiple people of late, including me. Man has a lot of chest hair, I can tell you that. All right, so let's look at our first quiz of the day. Actually, I'm going to talk about two little parts here at the beginning. In 43rd place is Round, and they don't get to quiz the first round, but they're going to quiz the second round because their name is Round. And I got to see them quiz. They have a great attitude about things, and I think they have a good chance of growing and doing something good tomorrow. So just wanted to mention them. My first quiz I'm going to talk about is Insight 13, and it's Astonish, Nomenclature, and Deliverance. Astonish from St. Louis, Nomenclature from NCO, and Deliverance from Midland Ministries. 38th, 41st, and 39th place. And I expect that to be a good quiz. You know, the thing that I've noticed about these lower teams is they all know a good amount of the material. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a good time for them, that first quiz, to say, hey, we can answer. Yeah. We can compete against each other. We don't have all these teams that are like jumping on nothing, getting 40 out of 46 questions with no words. And so a couple of them are going to wake up and do something surprising. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nomenclature make a move up from where they are.
So, sounds like a good pick there. I'm going to take the quiz that's going on Site 12 to start off the day. That is between Valiant from Minnesota, Wisconsin TFC in 37th, NCBQ from New City Bible Quizzing in 42nd, and Ehud from NCO 40th place. And that quiz could really go either way in this case, but I think Valiant has had some experience throughout some of the tournaments we've seen them at. Ehud has been part of those tournaments as well, but I think Valiant has the slight edge as being the higher seed going into this quiz, so I would pick Valiant to win this first quiz.
Those New City kids are competitive. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a move too, but good pick.
In Site 11, we're going to have Rebellion, who is seated in 30th from Ron's Wall Ministries. Power, seated in 34th from Minnesota, Wisconsin Teens for Christ. Force, seated in 31st from Summit Ministries. I gotta say, Force has really cool shirts this year. Something about Yoda and John 3:16. So that's been fun to watch. We quizzed them, and it was a distraction a little bit. Yes, exactly. Power is a notable team because they have taken into their team the first ever quizzer from Belize named Kenny. And a thing to note about them is they've really been competing with some teams that were seated higher than them. I think one good example is they beat Unashamed. And Rebellion also has really cool Star Wars shirts. And it's really a toss-up between the two. They're like pixels and cool characters. So take a look at those. I think I'm going to pick Rebellion in this quiz because they have a little weighted personnel who have more material and can carry the teams a little bit further, I think. So it'll be a close one, though.
We've got some wheelers on the team, too.
Yep. Couple wheelers.
That might make the difference.
A two-wheeler experience. All right, so in Site 10, we have Back to Life, which is Back to Life. And they're from NCO, and Teen World Royal, which is from Teen World, surprisingly, and Heroes from Summit Student Ministries. And so this should be a good quiz. I saw Heroes a couple times. They look real good. Back to Life, saw them, and they looked good as well. I know at Teen World Royal, they have a lot of talent there. A lot of new quizzers, first-time nationals, which is pretty exciting.
6 rookies, I hear.
Yeah, 6 rookies for nationals. So I expect them to make a move up on Saturday. I'm actually going to pick Heroes to win this quiz, but I wouldn't be surprised to see either of the other two teams make a move.
All right. Moving on up to Site 9, we've got Resurrection from Midland at 28th seeded. Sleepyheads from Minnesota, Wisconsin TFC at ranked 36th. And Believers from Midland, ranked 33. So we've got a little bit of a double team going on here with Midland going up against Minnesota, Wisconsin TFC. We'll see if the Sleepyheads are awake and ready to go for this quiz.
At 8:30.
8:30, yeah, this is going to be pretty early, but I think they've got some really good quizzers on that team. They got some young talent, and then I guess they've got some more experienced quizzers, and we'll just see. I think they had a little bit of a rough round robin and they didn't do quite as well as they were hoping. But I think in this quiz, we're gonna go with Sleepyheads, pulling up the upset.
Very good. And today we've got God's Toolbox, seated 21st from TFC Northwest. Broken, seated in 25th from Badgerland, and God Squad from MWTFC, seated in 22nd. They're the third highest TFC team. Broken has Elise Baird, who I know has been scoring quite a few points for that team. And God's Toolbox is part of a very balanced set of 4 teams from TFC Northwest. And because of that balance, I believe that they're going to take that quiz.
Nice. Yeah, I like how God's Toolbox and Broken are there. That should be a good combination.
Yeah.
Toolbox fixing broken things. All right, the next quiz I want to talk about is Instep. It's Site 7, and it's Instep, which is from Teens for Christ Northwest, Fishermen from Iowa, and Citizens also from Teens for Christ Northwest. So we got a few Teens for Christ Northwest teams all right around there. And I got to see all these teams quiz, except Instep I didn't see, I forgot. The other 2 teams I got to see, and I think this is going to be a real solid competitive quiz. I like fisherman's style. They got these fisherman vests, and you can wear them from day to day
Classy.
without having to get real sweaty. I think so. That's classy. It's a good way to put it. And especially like maybe they
And they don't smell bad either.
too being in Colorado that you could like maybe use them and it wouldn't be snowing, but they're wrong about that. But because of their fashion sense, I'm picking fishermen to win that quiz.
Very good.
Interesting. All right. Well, moving on up to Site 6, we're getting closer to the top. We have Kumquats from Family Life Ministries in 19th seated, and we've got Redemption from Midland at 27th, and Relate from Youth Challenge, and they're in 24th. Now, this quiz will be a little interesting. We've got Redemption. I think they've done pretty well this tournament. They did well at their Midland Regionals tournament. Kumquats, we didn't really know a whole lot about them coming from out east, but I think with the other team Relate in this quiz, I think from them being, they got kind of the hometown crowd behind them, they're from here in Colorado, I think they're gonna do some things in this tournament. I think they're gonna win this quiz and pull off the upset again.
Their crowd is really behind them. That's fun to hear. Like they get really excited. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. In Site 5, we have Unashamed, seated in 12th from Minnesota, Wisconsin Teens for Christ. Dragon Fruit, seated in 13th from Family Life Ministries, and The Rock, seated in 18th from TFC Northwest. One thing to notice about Dragon Fruit is that they're a team who has come from, I think, sort of a growing ministry as far as the skill pool is concerned. They did very well last year. All of their teams did. A lot of people were very impressed, and they're living up to that expectation this season as well. Seated in 13th, obviously. The Rock has a very good quizzer in Caitlin Atchison, I believe, on that team, and I would look for her to be cracking the top 20, 14-7 maybe, depending on how things go this Saturday here. And then Unashamed, of course, in 12th, a team with an overall average very high nationals average record. And I think they're seated a little below what they usually are able to place, and for that reason, I think they're going to move up, and so they are going to take that quiz. It'll be a tough one, though. I think Dragon Fruit will give them a run further.
Yeah, it should be a competitive quiz. All right, moving up to Site 4, I have CD Squared in 11th from Iowa, 7 Up from Summit Student Ministries in 17th, and WC from Minnesota, Wisconsin Teens for Christ. We already talked about WC winning a couple upset quizzes. 7 Up has a lot of talent. CD Squared really saw some great quizzing from them in the quizzes that I had them. I expect because of the incredibly strong quizzing they have from Jeremiah and Jonas, as well as some good backup quizzing from the other players, they're going to move up quite a bit, so I'm picking them to win that quiz.
Sounds like a pretty good idea. Moving on up, Site 3. Now we're getting up there to some of the higher teams. These teams, I believe, have come off a bye, so they're up there and they're getting that bye going, and that can come in handy for some of these teams that need to maybe get a little bit of extra review time in, maybe get some nice breakfast, maybe second breakfast even.
Yep.
And
Always key.
this particular quiz in Site 3, it's matched up between Zealous from is that Southern Illinois Bible Quizzing, and Mabolo from Family Life.
What a name.
I don't even know what that is. Anyone know? Is that a fruit or something? Okay.
Yeah, it is
We'll
a
go
fruit.
with the fruit.
Okay.
They have a picture of it. It looks like a plum.
Okay, we'll call them, yeah, Mabolo. And then Warriors from NCO. I've always been in Warriors camp. I think they're a really good team. I think they've got good balance. I think they may have had a little bit rough of a round robin schedule. I think some of the quizzes they were in, they just they let the errors get to them. I think with their coach involved, I think she does a good job of motivating her quizzers. I think they're going to come back strong here on Saturday, and they're going to go ahead and win this quiz. I think they're the more balanced team in this matchup, so I'm going with Warriors.
All right, and getting up to the tougher quizzes with the higher seeded teams. In Site 3, we have By Faith, Clay, and Spurs, seated respectively in 3rd, 4th, and 9th. Quite a jump there between, we got 3rd and 4th, and quite a jump down to Spurs in 9th, who have given quite a good showing during this round robin. I think Spurs really surprised a lot of people several years back. They were a very good team, main stage, and then for a while kind of slumped. And I think I'm seeing the life kind of come back to that team with a few really good quizzers and a deep team. Elliot Anderson, Darren Ryder, and some others like that. Jeremiah Petersham, yeah. So in a low-scoring quiz, they can do very well. Clay was one of the teams to beat Revelation in the round robin, and did a very good job of it. Yes. So look for them to be very competitive in fast jumping quizzes, because that's what happened in that situation, I believe. And By Faith was seated in 3rd, obviously one of the top 3 teams there. I got to pick By Faith in this situation. Like I said, I've said this many times, I think from the Iowa tournament to nationals, By Faith improves greatly every year, and this year is no exception. That's going to win this quiz.
You're up next, Nate.
All right. Well, moving on up to Site 2. Wow, we're getting up near the top. On this quiz, we've got Ribbon from, I believe, Summit Bible Quizzing, and they're seated 2. Literate Owls, also from Summit, seated 5th. And what is this? A 3rd team, Moxie from Summit, it's seated 8th, all in the same quiz. This will be like one of their practices back home. This will be great for them. When they get these 3 teams together quizzing, I mean, I don't know if we're going to get a word the whole quiz. So
That's so true.
we
I don't know if I'm going to say a word the whole quiz when I'm quiz mastering.
Yeah, there are just no words for this quiz to see how it's going to go. But I'm going to have to go with Riven as the experienced favorite in this quiz to go ahead and win this first one.
Interesting note that Austin had shared that he thought that Literate Owls had the best record
Yes,
of anyone
they did.
in the round robin, so that's pretty cool to see. But yeah. All right, finally, I'm going to talk about the last quiz, which is in Site 1 to start off the day, and that is Revelation, seated 1st, Sundown seated 6th, and Messengers seated 7th. These teams need no introduction. Sundown last year made stage, incredible run. Kevin again has got them ready to go. Messengers always strong, always especially strong on Saturday. They already got themselves up to 7th. And Revelation, which I still think was the strongest team that I saw in the tournament. Not that they're not other really strong teams, but just functioning together as a team especially, they seem like they had done really well. I just think it's important to remember it's impossible to say what for sure is going to happen at the beginning of the day. I think it's usually safe to go with the safe pick in this first quiz, so I'm going to go with Revelation to win that quiz. But anything can happen. So, all right, we'll see you in a minute with an interview, and see you tomorrow.